So my question is to the Minister for Education, Training and Skills. Can the Minister confirm that the relevant details of the presenter from the Renmark school incident have been provided to relevant officers in the non-government education sector to ensure that they are able to prevent this presentation from going to their students as well?
Minister.
Thank you, Speaker. I thank the member for Morialta for his question. Yes, I can confirm I've received confirmation from the Chief Executive of the Education Department that that has been done.
Member for Morialta.
Sir. Again, noting the Minister's previous answers, will the government conduct a review or audit of those third-party providers that offer respectful relationship and consent education within our schools and the procedures used to engage such providers? With leave, I'll explain, sir.
Leave is sought to serve granted. Yes, member for Morialta.
Thank you. Earlier in question time, the Minister advised that there would be a commitment to develop an approved provider list. This question seeks to ensure that such organisations that would be on the list have the content and nature of their presentations reviewed both for content and appropriateness.
Minister. Thank you, Speaker. I thank the member for Morialta for his question. And yes, he is correct. What I said in answer to a question earlier was that one of the responses we have already started to put in place here is to create an approved provider list as a means of making sure that something like this can't happen again. And I think it is fair to say that as part of compiling that list, it will necessitate obviously the department going through current providers and having a look at which ones are used and where they are used. There are some complexities around that, as the member would know as a former minister, particularly in regional areas where the choice that's available to schools around providers can be limited, but we will make sure that this approved provider list is put in place and it's done in a way that, as it has been explained to me by the Chief Executive, Mr Speaker, will also furnish principals with some I guess, basic fundamental questions that they can ask before choosing who the provider will be for their school, as a way of making sure that it is appropriate and as a way of making sure that a presentation like this can't happen again. And there are a couple of reasons, I think, why that is important, Mr Speaker, if I could just explain. Obviously, one is to put something in place and do everything within my power as Minister and the Education Department's power to make sure this doesn't happen again. But preserving the credibility and importance of having respectful relationship sessions in schools is also important. And I want to just make mention of what I thought was a very, very interesting article that appeared in the Sunday Mail just a couple of days ago, which was a pretty forensic examination of Andrew Tate, which I'm sure is a name that will be known to people in this place, and the incredibly damaging influence that Andrew Tate is having on generations of young people, particularly young men and boys. This was an excellent and forensic analysis of what this person has done. It didn't pull any punches. I read it concerned, of course, as Education Minister, but also as a father of 3 primary-aged children. But it also, I guess, given that I'd already been dealing with issues around this inappropriate presentation that took place in Renmark, it did bring into sharp focus for me the fact that what we are offering in schools in terms of combating some of these outrageous misogynist views of people like Andrew Tate is making sure that we have some kind of respectful relationships program. It can't be what it was in Renmark. That's inappropriate. I am accepting that and doing everything I can to make sure it's not the case. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater here. We need to make sure that we offer things in our schools to do the work that often parents aren't doing or can't do, to make sure that young people have an understanding around how they treat people with respect, but also understanding the very damaging views of people like Andrew Tate, the effect it is having on them, it is having on not just other young students and female students, but as the Sunday Mail article pointed out, Mr Speaker, the influence it is having and effect it is having on teachers who are receiving some of this incredibly humiliating, sexualised behaviour from young people who are following Andrew Tate online, and he is telling them that these things are okay. Now, one of the few things we have between Andrew Tate and a generation of young people are the respectful relationships programs. Call it what you will, sex ed that we run in our schools. We need to keep doing it. It needs to be preserved, but we need to put strict controls around it to make sure that the kind of thing that happened in Renmark doesn't happen elsewhere, and I'm committed to doing that.